Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. We all remember Cristiano Ronaldo's remarkable return to Manchester United, the goals, the drama, and, yes, even more drama. But what if his most significant contribution wasn't a last-minute winning goal, but rather a silent warning about the team's future? You see, in December 2021, following Michael Carrick's brief 3-game stint as caretaker manager, Ronaldo posted this. Michael Carrick was an outstanding player and he can become a great coach too. Nothing is impossible for this man. Was this merely praise for an old teammate, a kind gesture, or did Ronaldo realize that Carrick held the key to solving United's biggest problem after all? In just 3 matches, Carrick took charge of a chaotic squad and offered them a tactical lifeline. Today we will discuss the simple yet extraordinary changes Carrick implemented, changes that instantly restored balance to a fractured Manchester United side. So, what exactly did Carrick do first? You have to remember just how dire the situation was. In the final days of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, the midfield was in complete disarray. The team looked like a group of exceptional players who had only just met each other in the tunnel. On paper, the formation was a 4-2-3-1. But on the pitch, it was utter chaos. The pressing was intense but lacked coordination, creating vast spaces for opponents to exploit. The midfield duo, often dubbed McFred, were tasked with covering too much ground. Struggling to cope with the team's poor structural setup, they were constantly forced out of position, leaving the defense completely exposed. In attack, the strategy often seemed to be, give the ball to Bruno and Frey. This total reliance on individual brilliance meant that when it failed to deliver, the team was left exposed to clear-cut counterattacks. There was no control, no rhythm, and no balance. Everything was driven by heart rather than the head. It was amidst this chaotic situation that Michael Carrick arrived in November 2021. He was handed charge for 3 major fixtures: a crucial Champions League match against Villarreal, a must-win game, a clash against league leaders Chelsea, and a high-pressure home game against Arsenal. Most expected him to simply hold the fort. However, Carrick did more than just take charge. He steered the team in a new direction. So, how did he achieve this? He lacked the time to implement sweeping changes. He had days, not weeks, at his disposal. Instead, they adopted a few simple, logical concepts, a distinct departure from the previous disarray. Everything hinged on a handful of key adjustments. First was the defensive structure. Under Solskjaer, United's press, the effort to win the ball back from the opposition, had been a series of disjointed individual sprints. Under Carrick, it evolved into a collective team effort. Against Villarreal and Chelsea, United abandoned that frantic high press. Instead, when out of possession, they settled into a compact and disciplined 4-4-2 formation. The objective was no longer to regain the ball within 5 seconds. The aim was to deny the opposition space to play. The 2 forwards, typically Ronaldo and Sancho, were given a simple task: cut off passes intended for the opposing midfielders. This single instruction had a significant impact. It forced opposing teams to play out wide in less dangerous areas, where United's players could then converge and apply pressure. Wingers would tuck inside. Midfielders stayed compact, and the gaps between the lines narrowed. For the first time in months, playing against Manchester United felt like a genuinely tough challenge. They were organized and patient, controlling the game even without the ball. This strategy was grounded in reality, not fantasy. Secondly, they restored balance to the midfield. This is where Carrick, one of the most intelligent playmakers of his generation, proved his worth. He maintained the pivot partnership of McTominay and Fred, but gave them simple, clear instructions. They no longer had to run themselves ragged. In the new, compact setup, their roles were defined: protect the back 4, pass the ball accurately, and most importantly, stay connected to one another. Suddenly, the midfielders were playing closer together, creating easy passing lanes and forming triangles to cope with opposition pressure. This was clearly evident against Villarreal. Fred was given some freedom to push forward and disrupt the opposition's play, a move that directly led to Ronaldo's opening goal. He wasn't just a shield, he was a weapon. Later, against Chelsea, Carrick made the bold decision to bench Ronaldo and bolster the midfield. He deployed Fred, McTominay, and Matic to form a defensive wall that stifled the league leaders. It was a prime example of prioritizing team balance over individual players. By simplifying roles, Carrick turned a major weakness into a strength, and finally, there was the matter of attacking with enthusiasm. With a solid foundation in place, United's attacking players had the freedom to play more expressively. Yet, this didn't mean the team reverted to its previous state of chaos. Instead, attacks were built upon that newfound stability. When in possession, the team's formation would shift intelligently. Fullbacks would push forward, or a player would drop deep to briefly form a back three. This created space for players like Bruno Fernandes, relieving him of the burden of having to do everything himself and offering him a variety of options. The transition from defense to attack became faster and more purposeful. Upon winning the ball, the team remained organized, ensuring players were already well positioned to launch counterattacks. The 3-2 victory over Arsenal was a prime example of this. United played with precision, combining structured build-up play with rapid attacking transitions that led to goals. They looked like a team that truly knew what it was doing. If you enjoyed this analysis of Carrick's tactical approach, please hit the subscribe button. We provide in-depth football analysis like this every week, and would love for you to join us. The results were immediate and impossible to ignore. Carrick secured 2 wins and a draw in 3 matches against top-tier opponents. A 2-0 away win against Villarreal sealed their spot in the Champions League knockout stages. A hard-fought 1-1 draw with Chelsea demonstrated their defensive resilience, while a thrilling 3-2 victory over Arsenal restored confidence in the attack. But it wasn't just about the results. Carrick instilled a clear mindset. He restored discipline and order to the squad. He reminded everyone that football is a team sport built on structure, balance, and collective effort. He simplified the game, providing a framework where players could flourish individually without compromising the team's interests. He took charge of a team that seemed completely adrift and guided them onto the right path. The nervous tension in their play gave way to calm confidence. The players seemed to rediscover the joy of football, as they understood their roles and trusted the system. So, when Cristiano Ronaldo praised Michael Carrick in 2021, was he merely speaking as a former teammate, or did he see exactly what we witnessed during those 3 matches? He wasn't just praising the man alongside whom he had won the Champions League. He was acknowledging a brilliant footballing mind that viewed the chaos at Manchester United not as an impossible puzzle, but as a problem that could be solved with simplicity and elegance. Suddenly, Ronaldo's words "nothing is impossible" for this man didn't seem like just a friendly compliment. They felt like a glimpse into the future. In just 10 days, Michael Carrick reminded Manchester United what a well-organized, balanced, and tactically astute football team looks like. He offered a glimpse of a blueprint, one rooted in the same discernment, composure, and quiet wisdom that defined his playing career. The tenure was brief, but the lesson was clear. Sometimes, the simplest solutions are the most effective, and sometimes, the quietest person in the room holds the best ideas. In your opinion, what was the most significant change Carrick made during that short period? Let us know in the comments below. And if you would like to see more strategic analyses like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.